Everyone, welcome back. Lucid's $50,000 Tesla Challenger is currently under development. This car that's under development is roughly to be in the range of around 50 or 40,000 US dollars. The CEO said its next EV after the Lucid will compete with high volume family car market. That puts it in the range of the Tesla Model Y and the Tesla Model 3. These are family-sized vehicles after all. They are sedans and small SUVs, and they're around the $40,000 to $50,000 range to make it more affordable for mass production. Lucid is planning to become a mass-market electric vehicle manufacturer. But so far, the Lucid story has actually been quite opposite. They've done nothing but produce expensive vehicles. That is a similar strategy that Tesla's taken. It's a similar strategy that Rivian has taken. One of the few companies who actually did something different was Polestar. Polestar actually started with somewhat more affordable EV, $40,000 to $50,000. Polestar is bringing new vehicles to the market, such as the Polestar 3 and the Polestar 4. Lucid, on the other hand, currently has the Air electric sedan, very luxurious vehicle, but it's upwards of $80,000 before credit. But this vehicle could cost anywhere up to $80,000 before tax credit. And the Air Sapphire, yes, Bugatti Chiron Shaman Rocket, this car beat the Bugatti Chiron in a short distance race. And the Sapphire cost close to $249,000. So that's $250,000 for the Lucid Air Sapphire. The upcoming Gravity SUV won't be cheap either. But CEO Peter Rawlinson has indicated that Lucid aspiration extends beyond the two EVs seen so far. It looks like Lucid is finally admitting that they want to tackle the mass market, and of course they do, because that's where the money is. So we all know Lucid vehicles are incredibly beautiful, but the common controversy is that they're extremely expensive. The Lucid Air electric sedan is opulent, gorgeous, and aims at a deep pocket individual. But the California startup now wants to venture into the mass market territory with its next models lineup. And like we've already stated, it's already under development at Lucid. And it's well known that getting a new car company up and running, it's a daunting task. It's a very difficult task and it's not easy at all. Not just that, but when you do create this more affordable vehicle, getting that vehicle to be mass produced is incredibly difficult. Tesla went through this in 2018 and they call it production hell. And that's widely publicized now. It will be difficult for other manufacturers, such as Rivian, such as Lucid, such as Polestar. It won't be easy. Startup tends to learn on a high profit margin luxury EV to make more before dividing into affordable mass market cars. Similar to what Tesla did, of course. They started with expensive vehicles and over time they created more affordable vehicles. But this strategy only works if you have investors that are willing to be patient with your company. And thankfully, Tesla had a great amount of investors. Investors that were willing to invest on an annual turn. So if you had 10 investors, each year a new investor will be enrolled to invest, but they've all agreed to it previously. And basically you're funded for the next 10 years. That's incredible. And this is a strategy that's been utilized by many automakers and many other startup companies. They're having multiple investors and they're using them in turn. Because long term, you'll be able to fund the company in a more reliable function. You'll be more financially stable. And as of late, in the last few years, Tesla has had a great amount of money. And this is thanks to their investors. And this has allowed them to expand their business globally. So the question is, will Lucid be able to do something similar? Now, I do have a statement from the CEO, Rawlinson, and I quote, "The mid-size EV is going to be overtly a Tesla competitor, Model 3, Model Y competitor. This is the first time we've ever said it." That's true. They haven't really stated this before, that their intention is really to tackle the mass market of electric vehicles. Lucid has been strong in their commitment to commit to high quality, highly expensive vehicles. Now they're actually admitting that they will edge to the mass market, the more affordable market. And of course they would. Audi does the same thing, Mercedes and BMW does the same thing. And all these companies still produce highly expensive vehicles, all while producing more affordable models. The CEO added that the next model in the lineup would slot in at $50,000 space. It is closer to the current inventory price of the Tesla Model Y. The Tesla Model 3, on the other hand, can sell under $30,000 when federal and state level tax credits are applied. One of the few things Tesla struggled with early with the Model 3 and the Model Y lineup was quality blemishes. Minor fit and finish inconsistencies and panel gaps have been widely reported. Lucid could learn from Tesla's experience and bring tighter quality control to its upcoming models to stand apart from the get-go. But if I'm being completely honest, I don't think the panel gaps affect Tesla globally as much as people think. And I think one of the reasons is because if you buy these vehicles and they do have panel gaps, you can most likely get it sorted out by Tesla. That's your right as a consumer. If the product does not fit the description or it doesn't uphold to the quality of other products in the same identical lineup, then it's up to Tesla to fix our problem. So I'm guessing that a lot of the times Tesla just replaced the cars. Out of 1,000 cars, if 20 of them or 30 of them are affected in terms of panel gaps, Tesla just takes that as advisory and just work on that, and they probably just replace the car, seeing as they have so much vehicles that they're shipping out to people. Another area that Lucid might have an upper hand compared with Tesla is in range. Range anxiety is still a huge thing, especially in the US. In the UK, it's probably a bit more reasonable. Within Europe, it's probably a bit more reasonable, but within the United States, it's such a large country, so many different states. Driving across states can be very difficult for an electric driver. So it's really promising to know that the Lucid Air Grand Touring is already the longest range EPA certified electric car in the US. This is with over 500 miles of range. Sure, the smaller cars will have a smaller battery, but Lucid could bank on its expertise as a former battery company and target segments leading range figures. We all know the range can be a deal breaker, of course, for consumers. So that's pretty much all we know about the Lucid future lineup. So let me know what you think about this. Do you think it's promising for Lucid to go into this area? Do you think they should have started with more affordable EVs? Or is it that the American approach, the Tesla approach is more promising? Because we're getting a lot of USA brands that are doing very similar to what Tesla did. Rivian, Lucid, the list goes on. What is strange to think is that only a few years ago, it seems that the EV market had overwhelmingly insane amount of EV companies out there. Right now, it seems that there's just a few of them. But certainly, like back in 2021, it seemed that there were a lot more EV companies just popping up randomly out of the woods. What does that tell us about the Lucid stock? Right now, the market cap is 9.64 billion. However, if we look at the revenue, it is still significantly underperforming. It looks like Lucid will barely crack 500 to 600 million in revenue this year. That is not good at all. It's one thing that I can say is that they do have cash on hand. They've got funding, so they shouldn't have any difficulties funding this company for the next decade and getting it to where it needs to be. But for the company like Lucid, it will take 5 years to a decade to really get it to where it needs to be. It's the same thing with Polestar. It's the same thing with Rivian. These companies are heavily behind Tesla in infrastructure, in factories, in car qualities, in employees and expertise, in manufacturing and everything, in producing and selling, marketing, in everything. They're behind Tesla by a long shot. So it's going to take them a while. It's going to take them 5 to 10 years, in my opinion. But it's good that we now have the idea of what Lucid is trying to accomplish. They've got intentions to produce mass market affordable EVs. Well, more affordable EVs. They didn't say they're targeting a car that's around 30 grand or 35 grand. They said they're targeting a car around 50 grand. That's still expensive for a lot of people, so they're not entirely out of the woods yet, but it is more affordable than the Lucid Air and the Lucid Gravity. But I look forward to Lucid bringing more vehicles to this space, because I think they're a promising company. They've got great technology. They'll do great things. But right now, the share price, it is overvalued, in my opinion. It is a little bit overvalued. But that's not to say that I wouldn't buy it, because I have bought one Lucid share. The reason I'd buy it is because I know that just under 10 billion, this company within the next 10 years, if they continue to do what they're doing, I think their valuation will increase well over 50, 70, 80 billion in the next 10 years. Given the fact that they're bringing more affordable EVs to the world, but also SUVs, more affordable sedans. So they might be a little bit overvalued right now, but if they were delivering 100,000 cars this year, I would be inclined to agree with the market cap a lot more. I don't even think they're delivering 10,000 this year. I might be wrong, but they're not doing particularly well. But they're building up their infrastructure. So that's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.